In this video, are the bulls back? Well, not really yet. We have a few things that needs to happen in the charts, and in this video I want to show you exactly what needs to happen in order for us to be bullish. Because right now we are still on the bearish side of this EMA ribbon, for example, and we're still making lower highs and lower lows. So there are a few things that needs to happen down here in order for us to see something like this happen. Because if all of these things do not happen that I want to talk about, then something like this might happen. So all of this is coming up, guys, and if you think that sounds interesting, then I think that you should definitely keep watching this video. Hello guys, and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl, and I'm here to bring you another cryptocurrency video. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. And so we've seen a few attempts from the bulls here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. And so we got this big green candle, and it's actually more of a, I'm on the 4-hourly right now, but if we zoom into the 5-minute chart, we can see that most of this price action actually happened here on a big 5-minute candle. But the fact is, we did get this big bull break here, which was a break of approximately 5 or 6% in just a matter of a few minutes here. And if we go back to the 4-hourly here, and the important thing for the bulls right now, of course, is actually to go past the previous relative high here of 6,624, because so far all we've managed to do here is actually just to form a lower high. So that's not really. I mean, we need to establish a higher high here in order for this trend to be to see some confidence in the bulls here, and a reversal here. And we have currently the low we got here was at pretty much the exact number 6,000. So I mean, and also form this little small double bottom here in the 4-hourly time frame. And if we go to the 1 hour, we can see that it's not really a very pretty looking one. You know my thought about this, like a double bottom in this case, it might be able to predict a move like this possibly, but it's not this little double bottom is not going to tell us that we are going to see a trend reversal here. That is not what it's going to mean. And all right, let's go to the daily. First of all, we can actually see that this actually kind of looks like a head and shoulders, I would say. And if we just, I can put this line right here, just tell you, like this is what I'm currently seeing when I'm watching this. A first shoulder, then the head, and possibly a new shoulder here. And so that would mean that we might see the price do this kind of shoulder action, and when we break out, we should be on the lookout for a change in volume. So I mean, if the volume starts to pick up here at the breakout, then that could be a confirmation that this is a head and shoulders, and that we can put in a nice trade here and making some money. Maybe I should do that, seems like. And so that is what I'm currently watching right now. And if we do see that, then if we do a general target analysis here, we can do right there to the absolute bottom of this head. And let's say we break out somewhere there, that would mean that we have a target at around just short of 7,000, so $6,966. But of course, we never do anything until we get a confirmation in a formation. So do not trade based on something that could happen. We only trade based on things that has happened and that will continue to occur. Which, in that, what I mean is that we trade the breakout. That is the only thing we ever do, because until a breakout, this can still. So many times I've seen head and shoulders form beautifully, and I wouldn't call this one beautiful, actually, but yeah, it would look awesome like this, look great. People put in a trade right here, and then it just continues to go down. A head and shoulders, when it's not complete, is never a guarantee that it will break out and make you money at all. But yeah, so that pattern was something that I just wanted to mention. And if we go to the daily time frame, and pull out the RSI and the stochastic RSI. This is something that we have been following, and what we talked about was that what if the 30 level holds as support right now, because we actually entered into this bullish box here that we have been talking about. So from this point here, that was the first time in this whole bear market that we entered into the bullish territory of above 70, and from that point I said that I think that we have now entered into a bullish box here. And I understand it might seem a little bit counterintuitive, or a bit like when we from that point just go straight down, but that doesn't, being in this bullish box doesn't mean that we only are going to go up. What it means is that in this RSI indicator here, we are going to be we're going to now see the 30 level as support, and we're gonna see us move into the 80 level occasionally here. Just like in a bear market, in a bear trend, we see the 70 level right here as resistance, and the 30 level is not going to be support, and in fact we're going down to this 20 level, into the 15 level, so that's the only thing that really means. So and as you can see in this bearish box, of course sometimes we were going up. So just to be clear, being in a bullish box doesn't mean that we have to move up all the time. It just means that in the RSI right now, the RSI would actually tell us that we might see another overall trend here. So that is something that I'm watching, and of course something that would change this is if let's say the RSI starts to just deep dive right into the 20 level, well then we are in a bearish box again. And just like I said, right now we have actually found support on the 30 level, so that indicates that we are actually in this bullish box and we haven't left it yet. So that's of course good to see for the bulls here. And something that I think we might see here is actually we had a low here, and then we had a lower low, but in the RSI we had a low and a higher low. So this is a very small tiny bullish divergence here, and usually I like to see more bigger bullish divergences, like the ones we have been following before. The one we saw back here, two highs here with lower highs, that was a bearish divergence. And then right down here where we saw these lows, and then we saw a higher low there. So, and these divergences were on a larger time frame, and they held a lot of significance. This divergence called this downtrend, this divergence called this uptrend, and we actually even had, do you remember guys? We talked about this bearish divergence. We had these highs here and these lows. So this divergence actually called on the 4 hourly time frame, called this downtrend here. And if I had taken that more seriously, I mean I took it seriously, and that was one of the reasons why I said I think we're going to have to see a correction, and I think that this is the relative high. This was one of the reasons. But I didn't think that this bearish divergence was going to take Bitcoin all the way down below even the 6.8k area when we were up here. I simply saw this as a sign of a correction coming, and that this uptrend was over. But yeah, you could have taken that more seriously, but I don't really think anyone expected this rapid move all the way down below 6.8k and all the way down to where, like 6k. That was a very unexpected bearish momentum that came here. And of course we have the news about the ETF being delayed, probably being the last nail in the coffin of this. So I think we have the fundamentals helping us to pull us down here. This was not only technicals. This was, in fact, a lot due to that news story, I think. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say here is that these divergences, they do hold a lot of significance. And of course, this is not a ideal setup, because it's not on the bigger time frame. But we should be on the lookout for this one to be a possible sign of a reversal. So on the daily time frame, we do have some things that actually are pretty positive after this massive bear trend. But guys, before you start putting in your long positions, before you start getting excited, let's take out the ribbon here, because this ribbon has actually been a pretty reliable indicator in the last few months really. And as we can see, we've been bouncing off of this ribbon in this bear trend, and we've been bouncing off of this in this bull trend. So it seems to be a reliable indicator as to where the price is going to bounce in the current trend. And of course, the important line here is the shortest EMA here, which is the 20 period EMA, and I'm on the 4-hourly time frame right now. So we have that line, the hour line here, and we can see that we are bouncing off it occasionally. And right now we haven't really contested it. So as long as we are not or as long as we are not going above these EMAs here, I would say that we're still in a big risk zone here. And all of these bullish things that we see on the daily time frame, they are only there in the background. What needs to happen is we need to see this happening for these bullish things to actually hold some importance. Because at this current moment, I would say that we still are in a very high risk scenario of us actually seeing another leg down, especially if we are not able, as I said, to contest this previous high here. So on this small time frame here, we have to be on the lookout for these things to happen, because we also have lower highs. So something that would be very bearish, of course, is for the price to go down below and establish another lower low. What did I say? Lower lows we have here. And if we have another lower low, then that would be very bearish. So we should be very cautious here. We shouldn't be trading until we see confirmation of this actually being a bullish setup, because it's not really a bullish setup yet. Nothing really bullish has happened. This big green candle is not really bullish. It's just a small little short squeeze, I would say. Like you can see here, the short positions got a squeeze here, so that's why we saw this break, I would say, or that definitely helped in this break. Yeah, so be cautious. I wouldn't trade at this exact moment. In fact, I would try to just maybe watch the head and shoulders line, and if we break it with volume, then sure, that could be a great place to put in a long. But I would need to look at that situation more carefully. I can't say right now that that is going to be a perfect setup, because it hasn't really occurred yet. But the head and shoulders is definitely something that might be forming here. Alright, and once again, if we were to see a bull break, then I would say that the line that needs to be broken is the 6.8k. No surprise there. That's the big line we've been talking about. And if we were to see a big bear break, then of course the relative low that we have right now is the 6,000. If we were to break 6,000, then bearish things would possibly start to enter the market here. I would say that would not be a good thing for the bulls. And if 6k was to be broken, then the important line to break would obviously be the all-time, or the relative low, but the 2018 all-time low of 5,770. And of course that is a big support zone, because that is also the $100 billion level in the Bitcoin market cap, which actually held some significance here. If we take a look at it and just bring out this chart, because on the exact dollar amount we actually found support there, which is very interesting. Right here you can see that we actually found support on the exact number here. We dipped down very, very briefly, like a fraction of a, like maybe a few minutes down below 100 billion, just shot right back up again. So that was definitely a big support zone here for Bitcoin, and since then that created this small little double bottom, and since then we've actually seen the price go up from that level. Now we're there again. I would expect the 100 billion to show off its significance again, and that creates this very big psychological level here when it has been tested so many times. If it gets broken, that would be very bearish, and that would be a sign that I think the markets are not ready for a bull run, and that would probably increase the likelihood of us going down towards 5k or 4k, like seeing a continuation of this bear trend. So that's why I think the $100 billion market cap level is a very important zone, and that corresponds, like I said, with the 5,780 level. So that is a very, very important level, and we are very close to it. That's why it's very exciting right now, because this might be a very big deal for Bitcoin if we go down or up from here. But if we do see a bull break here, we do possibly that we might possibly be able to do nice trades here. I wouldn't short Bitcoin at this moment because we've been going down so rapidly here. If you want to short Bitcoin, I would wait for Bitcoin to possibly go up to some resistance level of, for example, 6.8k. And if we see resistance here, then here would be a better place to short, because I would never short something after it's been going down like this. Just like when we were going up like this, I said that I would never, I'm not longing here. I mean, we've been going up so fast, and we should, on the contrary, look out for a correction. But yeah, that's my opinion about that, and I would love to take a look at these graphs as well, like the total market cap, because we went below 250 billion, and the total market cap of the altcoins is actually right down at 100 billion. I want to take a look at that and the market dominance. I'll upload a small little video on my Patreon talking about this, and I also want to touch a little bit about Ethereum, because what if the altcoin market cap touching 100 billion might be a bottom for the altcoins? That is possible, but who knows? But if we take a look at Ethereum and maybe some other altcoin, maybe we can find some clues. So maybe I can take a look at that in tomorrow's video here on YouTube. But I will upload a few words about that on my Patreon for you patrons out there. So, and thank you patrons for following my Patreon. I'm really glad to see you guys being over there. But that is actually going to be it for this video, guys. If you click down here, you watch that one, and I will see you guys tomorrow.